welcome to a Dragonstaff tutorial for an introduction to tosses. In this video, we'll be covering 3 different tosses, and there will not be any prerequisites for this one. Before we get started, thank you so much to all of you watching and supporting on Patreon. Thank you for making this channel possible, and thank you for making videos like this possible. So as I mentioned, we'll be covering 3 different types of tosses. The first is without changing the rolling direction of the staff or doing any type of spin with the staff in the air. So you catch it just as you tossed it. For the second toss, we'll let the staff do a half rotation or 180 in the air so that when we catch it, it's rolling towards us, opposite of how we toss the staff. And for the third and final way of tossing our dragon staff, we'll let the staff do a full rotation or 360 in the air so that it still is rolling away from us when we catch it, just as when we tossed it, only, as I mentioned, the staff will do a full rotation in the air like so. So let's get started. Toss number 1. There are definitely many different ways that you can toss and catch the staff with all 3 of these tosses. But for toss number 1, we want to send the staff up, and it's really helpful if you can keep the staff balanced so one end doesn't go higher than the other. You're tossing it evenly with both arms or both hands. No rotation in the air. When you catch the staff, it's still rolling away from you just as you tossed it. And you can toss it with your palms, catch it with your palms, toss it with the backs of the hands, catch it on the arms or backs of the hands. One way that I like to utilize this toss is by coming into more of a lunge position with the legs and more of a warrior 1 kind of stance for my yogis out there. And then bringing the staff up overhead, letting it roll down the arms, down the front of the body, lowering the arms so that obviously the staff doesn't drop, and so that from there we can toss the staff up, catching it, staff rolling away from us. And that is toss number 1. For toss number 2, we want the staff to do a half rotation so that even though we're tossing the staff up, rolling away from us, we'll send one side out in front with a little momentum so that it'll do a half rotation and we'll catch the staff with the staff rolling towards us. For these, it's really helpful if you know either your Supermans or your reverse chi rolls. That way when you catch the staff with it rolling towards you, you already know you have a trick or somewhere to go to from there. So my dominant side or way of doing this toss is kind of holding the left side in front of me, right side behind me, so that when I toss the staff up, I have a little bit of space to give that right side of the staff that's behind me some momentum to do a 180 in the air and turn to roll towards me so that when I catch the staff, it's rolling towards me. And definitely play with both directions, so you can try it that way. You can also do the toss sending the left side in front of you and turning to your right, so it's on your left when you toss the staff, this dark sock end of the dragon staff, and it'll be on my right when I catch the staff. that is our second toss. For our third toss, the full 360 toss, we want the staff to do a full rotation in the air so that when we catch it, it's rolling away from us just as we tossed it. Only for this toss, you'll likely need to toss it up really high so that you have enough time for the Dragonstaff to do the full 360 before you catch the staff. And if it doesn't complete the full 360, you'll probably end up landing in toss number 2. So good to have that one in your back pocket first. And same as our second toss, for our third toss, we are going to pick a side here to send. As I mentioned, I like to start with the end behind me that I'm going to be tossing out and in front of me. We'll want to come into it that same way. So I have my right side of the staff, the light sock end to my right and behind me, so that as I toss the staff up, I'm going to bring it in front of me. Going to do that full 360 in the air, and when I catch it, it'll still be the light sock side on my right side. And of course, you'll want to try both sides. So now I have the dark sock side on my left. It will land on my left once I catch the staff. And as with our first two tosses, you can toss the staff with your palms, with the backs of the hands, and catch it on either as well. Although I will say it's a little easier, especially for this one, to get a little more height with your toss if you're tossing from your palms. So those are our 3 different tosses. Of course, those are not the only 3 kinds of tosses, but those are kind of a nice framework and 3 ways of kind of being mindful of how you're tossing your staff or even kicking your staff up. Help you to be aware of, did the staff do a half rotation, a full rotation, or no rotation? One more thing I want to add is if you know your palm spins, especially if you're comfortable with them going both directions on both hands, palm spins are always a nice way to catch your staff from a toss as well. If you want to switch it up, instead of catching it in the arms or hands, whether you do a half rotation or a full rotation, you can always catch the center point on your palm and come straight into a palm spin as well. Doesn't matter if it's a half or a full, the palm spin catch is always there for the tosses. So that's going to do it for this one. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. As always, if you have any questions or want me to clarify any part of that, feel free to drop me a comment or shoot me a message. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next one.